Ayo ahwefo yebdase akwa aba ediba and edwumedie enso na ene yeba beka about COVID-19 its impact on traveling and anxiety dodo no enya afa ho abra COVID-19 shase na yede restrictions eto so on travel no yemu dodo na no we've not been able to travel since then na abra binum lifted the ban on traveling now or more allows the flights in and outside the countries especially Ghana, and that is why I need the me and the trip preoccupied because minya kwenya echo Ghana a bra lifted ban more now bebrina request they say men share how a because it presents with so much anxiety say yare no wo na ye afide otimi tu kwan senya atinkadete ana test no so ayese yenye ansa ne aba no ana abra wo tu kwan no so no ehon asem etesei enti my experience kakra menyaye with going to Ghana no na mpese me no mo share ti mumi ahase every asase no kra now abra me suspect is say omo be borders no September 1st, around me try my ticket. Into the tour for September 3rd, no Thursday, and I meko. Now, what happened? Did they say Nana Adodankwa Ekufuado, His Excellency, Ekasa ya Okase obebie the borders of September 1st. I bear confirmed, Now, after the regulations, na eka hono, ebetu jase was a year. PCR test and it should be less than 72 hours before your travel. I think most of the airlines were not ready to fly to Ghana, especially from the US. And at that point, now airlines there were no available flights to leave from the US on September 3rd. And what happened, they say airline is a date, and the nominum bebre so they had planned to travel around that time, including the weekend of it, which was September 5th, 6th, and 7th, and it's that time, unfortunately, Dodo aminim dear, obia to me anko that time. And he almost a sa obia a time, and they share at that date. Meme dear was moved to September 8th. Na answer na me who say you move me there crampo no. I had scheduled say come me PCR test no. Abraham me say a speech from the president. Now Abraham schedule Now there was a challenge with the scheduling of the test and I know say a lot of us has reservations about test no requirements. It says here a test from country of Fimu and San Wabedru Ghana hono. So me who say asesa me date then I also had to change my PCR test and now have to find somewhere make me aye ama make me etu kwan now this is where the anxiety came in, and for those who knows me personally aka typically me too kwan akamekra this time you realize you say meant to me ankra obia even people that lived here in the States with and for no Ghana because there was so much uncertainty around the travel. Send me to me, so the very few that even told initially, I had to go back and tell them so my cancel my trip, because me to me. Why? Because na me nya baby make my test na mame. I'ma menya results within the 72 hours na required I'ma makwa do Ghana. Right? And I had to cancel my trip. I even called the airline and cancelled my ticket. Then, with that, what happened? They say most places, I'm afraid, maybe we brave. And that day, almost that is all I did the whole day. Maybe we brave. I'm afraid, oh, your results, you will get it between 48 hours to 5 days. It will also 3 days to 7 days. And send when your results in the back. There was one place I met my friend and Busa said, Namuni instant one be one manner. And they told me, say, there's no instant PCR test. So you can do an instant COVID test, but it's not PCR. And who's a bibiaba for now, the novelty of it. So I need PCR and they any other test that airlines and be recognize it. And you know, I didn't want to take the chances. And the earliest in Suadaminia said the test results will come back was 72 hours. So now I say until many testing. Now me risk case I call airport. Hopefully by the time I may do airport, now my results are back, then I'll be allowed to board because that will be the time frame. Now the problem I also faced, and they say it was Tuesday. Time I said some ticket to which was September 8th, was a Tuesday. And it had the weekend before it and a holiday, right? By Labor Day, September 7th, it was a holiday. And for some of the testing centers, the challenge was the time frame for their turnaround, the Albania results, did not include the weekend. And now, so me and the Saturday, the weekend doesn't count. And if even I'm to take the chance, say 3 days in the weekend and count, then the Monday so I say holiday, which means it's a me and my results and send my call. So it became very frustrating. After they're not me who they mean now like I've scheduled from work to be off and all of that. I cancel my PTO and then go through everything again. A channel now for the bitch said no. Said my friend, me primary care. Let's say what symptoms or mobile test still. And this is not a lie because the Sunday, which was a whole week before I had to travel, because bo and I had allergies, now me sneezy a lot. So that was a symptom of the virus also. Into my friend, my primary care, and I'm sure so okay, I have a symptom. Plus, I also want to travel, so met me I test number. That is when they told me say yes, met me and they need to take you 24 hours to 72 hours for you to get the results back. And weekend doesn't count. Weekend the crampo eka I'll bet me aye. Then that gave me some relief and gave me some hope to say bia met me aye nam de 2 coin. Now so back to the 72 hours. It means say the earliest I can do it Saturday area after 2 o'clock. And my friend and I'm schedule I happened to go do it. It was the nasal swab didn't be. My friend, it's not very comfortable. And you're comfortable at all. I wasn't doing this you but and yet baby so I say yeah and I also say yeah it's just not comfortable sanity. It's because and I got the results within the 24 hours and after they meet me the course. So now let's get into the traveling itself. One thing I didn't know is apart from the PCR test, the government of Ghana also requires you to do an online health screening via SOS a few questions. And if we go through airport, I may check in and on Busam so my and I'm saying no, I didn't know about it. Then they gave me the address, and we'll leave the address on the screen for those who are interested. And on the website, and I'm a call hold. In fact, it doesn't take long, less than 2 minutes, you get it done. And I'm a yeah. They also will require the PCR test results, because it's in their system. Say omunya and sana waffle. And omubusa for the PCR test results also, and they expected it. And sana omo checking me in. I'ma go through TSA and all of that to travel. Now, with my flight, I had to connect and then go to Amsterdam and then fly out of Amsterdam to Ghana. Into the Bra, you could do Amsterdam also, so they check the PCR test again before they'll let you on the flight. I remember I said my flight was delayed for 3 hours because they said some people had some challenges with their PCR test. I'm not too sure of the details because at that time, I was already on the plane and don't really know what happened outside. But we were told, they said, some people had tested either positive and also said they had issues with their PCR test, which means you say it was beyond the 72 hours. And as I said, PCR and Kasa, I don't know too much of the details as to why. But for whatever reason related to the COVID testing, Yamoma full play no. And because they were not allowed to board, their things had to be taken out of the plane and near loaded no. So we stood on the timer for about 3 hours. And Sana, Yefi, Amsterdam, Ako, Ghana. Now, traveling through the airports, of course, is so quiet. TSA, it takes way less than usual time, right? And stores in the brave through the airports were closed, including restaurants. Until they say, Ube did and I say, yeah, yes, a few restaurants were open, but not yet that of your choice. Airlines also continue to make an announcement to say they'll be serving the necessities. Therefore, so to a or airport or you want to come on board with it, wait me their full plane. Because I said Bakubi or say Minche baby not or in a pizza or plane so. So yes, they allowed that. And the other thing is the seating, seating arrangement, I had to do 2 connections. So from Cincinnati to Detroit, then from Detroit to Amsterdam. So the flight from Cincinnati to Detroit, the Mania say, even though it wasn't a full flight, but as part of their plan to observe some level of social distancing, seats now F3, they left the middle row. And the middle row now was blocked off. And it will be better on chair crap now. In 15 you'll be answering honor. So that provided some level of distancing. Then the one from Detroit also to Amsterdam also was the same. But the one from Amsterdam to Ghana, my brother, my sister, it was a full flight. At the point I boarded, it was a full flight, which meant to say every single seat on the flight was occupied. And so there was really no social distancing. Maybe I'm saying maybe on Saturday, one or next person also the other. But inside say some people had some challenges with the test in it, or more a few seats were then empty, but the flight was more or less full, right? And talking about anxiety, what to expect, after I'm out for A2 quiet, so you don't know how people are going to act, how people are going to behave, are people going to be careful, are people going to take it serious? And trust me, from the time I Uber your first airport to the time you get to your destination and through the country, you're expected to wear your nose mask or your face covering. And wearing that nose mask, it is so painful, it's so difficult to wear for so long. I tell you, my flight total time was about 24 hours, right? And the cycle delay for 3 hours. So it ended up being about 27 hours. And it was not comfortable wearing that thing for that whole period, right? And of course, it's for your own safety. And yes, it will be canteen so per se, but so that is also that the anxiety of how people are going to act. By and large, people are more or less careful, and they'll keep reminding you throughout the airport and on the plane to observe social distancing. But when you give me a seater, obitim chair, and now you're telling me to observe social distancing, and then the question is, how do I observe social distancing, right? So those are some of the challenges that we went through. Then Uko drew Ghana Honoma, and that is where most of the your problem as to why we are asked to pay or do the test from our country of origin. Now, let's say drew Ghana Honoma, and you'll be tested again, and you pay the $150. Most people were asking, hey, into Uchiaye, my brother, it's not an option. When you're not going to go through. The way it's done, there's no way out, right? There is no way out. You pay and then you go through. And so, yes, I did pay the $150, and yes, I did get tested. Some people are saying, oh, tested the crowd for more yet. There are certain things we want to so we need any evidence. Let's not just be putting up stuff like that. It'll be able to say, oh, now want to be into a bribe and get through. Really, we think of our country so low, say, we with things of health importance, you know, you rather want to pay bribe to get through it. But no, the answer is no. There's no bribe paying to get through and not do it. And I also know there's no suggestion say test no or yet because Abraham and I'll get back to how the test was done. But Abraham I know say one gentleman came over and was looking for some people because their test they were not able to input the results for whatever reason. So it means he said the test was done and then there was some challenge with it until they were looking for the individuals to go and retest. Say beya or the right results to get through. And if you know a thing or two about testing now, yes, you understand they say it's possible. Says such a thing may happen. Okay, so now we drew airport on them now they see by 10 people at a time, right? So it takes long to get off the plane because 10 people they go, it takes some time before they call the next. But yeah, you drew all of them so still Nankophobia were lying him. Observing social distancing at that point was out of the equation. The airport staff keep reiterating, say, oh, me patcho more observe you, please observe your social distancing and all of that. They did their part, but the people themselves felt to say we've been on this flight next to each other the whole time to get here. So, and it was almost 1 a.m. And so the people themselves did not observe the social distancing as we were supposed to. Single files are not their court, could do baby a test. You get there, you pay the money, you are given a check, you go, you do the test. Now what to process and so as they said, as you continue the process, some people get their test before the immigration. And there's a Ghana Health Service booth on my Obeko. Now, there's a machine there, it checks your temperature, they ask you a few questions. Also now, or form now, or failure online. So one failure, there are also booths out there that you can go and fill the forms over there. And since one failure before or get it on, yes, it's not too late. When you get to Ghana, there's a booth you can go and do it. And I also say you can do it on your phone at any point. And to do Ghana Health Service, they check all of that. And then if your results is back at that time now, they'll let you know your results and then you proceed to immigration, then customs. Say, well, results is soon you're ready, you are not held back, right? Yeah, my own and try say results in the paper. So what happened? Then they say you still go through immigration, but then before you go through customs, will be fee airport on them. There is another checkpoint, and at that point, by then your results should be in. Say, by a day, then you will not be allowed to proceed, which then took between the 15 to the 30 minutes as promised. We do final one there, then the results has to be in before you're allowed into the country. Until at that point, the start backward no. One can on that same app now, and I say website now called Coffin, you can go and check if your results is in on your phone. And as you saw the more, they will check it at the desk and then let you know your results before you be allowed to go through customs. Now, the WPA now oko. Now, let's also look at how the Ghanaian population is treating the virus itself. Now, I would say the government and as I said, the people of Ghana are doing their part. Oh, before we even get to how the Ghanaians are treating and I say observing the social distances and the protocols, quickly, let's talk about the $150. I know that has been a big thing for most people, right? Maybe Kakra say, as to why it has to be done from your country of origin before you get to Ghana, I can understand the rationale. Because we want to reduce the possible number of positive cases that will come into the country, which the government will have to bear the expenses of taking care of those people in the hospital and all of that. Now, I also say people give examples of baby just $7. Baby just say that one the politicians have provided the rationale behind it. If you order it might be cheaper in another country, but your results do not come back the same day. So you have to check in into a hotel and then stay in there till your results comes back. That is another cost. That is another inconvenience. There are some places where you have to spend 2 weeks in a hotel quarantine before you're allowed into the country if you are negative. My whole trip was 9 days. So if I have to go spend 2 weeks in a hotel, that is even more than the days I had to spend in Ghana, right? And you know, yes, that argument is there, but no, so yeah, something else for another day. But my only thing is, now, two things. Either say Udru Ghana honum you test you're positive, then you pay for your own expenses. So you're negative, you go into the country. Then you don't have to do it from your country of origin, because that is where most of the frustration is right now. Because it said most places you don't get the results back in less than 72 hours. There was also the argument of the 72 hours that was said by the president, it wasn't very clear as to whether the 72 hours of when the test was collected or was when the results came back, right? And I've seen some communications from the Embassy of Ghana and the High Commission of Ghana in UK, which said they said 72 hours from when the test was collected. But President, in this speech in India, it wasn't very categorical. Therefore, there was that debate or argument to say, yes, make me a test on Saturday, but then the result comes back on Sunday or Monday. I travel Tuesday. So which one are we using, right? And because it's for most places, the turnaround time was more than 24, 48 hours in it, that also became a bone of contention. And all these things increases the struggle, the difficulty for someone to travel. And for the government of Ghana, yebeshe seka ebia udu odum ye test you positive, then you bear your own expenses. I don't bear one thing. The other thing also say, if you come and then you are positive, you get treated, we still take care of the cost as a country. But the argument also might be say, yaboka bebre with this coronavirus, and with you coming into our country, and as a treat you on it. Therefore, the attempt is to reduce the possible amount of positive cases that will make it into the country. So now, yes, some people take it very seriously. Duduanano will wear their mask whenever out, observe all the protocols. But there are some people also that, unfortunately, they don't care about what is going on. I heard some people say, go out the corona and they are shake cage more into okay. If you so the government of the land, WHO, World Health Organization, there is no coronavirus. So you hear various things about the virus, and the attitude of people, are very different. Some places, full glaring more pape cry. I want to say BB also. And of course, some other places too. I know the church you say I be here on the Saturday, there's a bucket, there's a basin, you have to wash your hand, tissue near titi, and the one that so you just pick it, you wipe your hands, you drop it. And they do your testing. No match your phone number, or match your temperature against your name and all of that. Say, if something is to happen, they can do the contact tracing. So the protocols in the institutions, in some places, the churches, at least the ones that I went to, were very highly observed. But individually in India, so these are my experiences. I'm going through the process of getting into Ghana in this COVID times. If you have any experiences, I share with us. And as I say, if you have any questions, you can put it in the comment section and I will answer accordingly. Thank you for joining us. Subscribe to the channel as we continue to grow the Philgood family. Medas.